have just done a video on how to create the perfect base for you, ignoring what everyone else is using, what's best for your skin and makes your skin look the best. It's a few little techniques that I've taken on board. I hope you enjoy it, and obviously amend it to whatever works for you. Hope you enjoy. Let me know what other videos you'd want as well. Give me some feedback. If you like the more educational ones, I can do more of those. If you like complete looks, I can do more of all of it, but just let me know what direction you like if you like this style of video. Enjoy. Now, I don't know if this video will ever see the light of day, but I just wanted to do a video touching on how to achieve the perfect base for you. And that's different for every person, and we all have different skin and we all have different skin needs. I often will see people who will tell me a certain problem, and I look at their skin and I'm like, oh, actually, I think this would be amazing on you. I think this would be amazing on you. And people that think of their face as a whole, I tend to not think of the face as a whole. I think of it in 4 different areas. I will think of this is an area, this is an area, this is an area, and I think of a nose as a completely separate area. So I break it into cheeks, forehead, chin, and nose. I don't know why. That's just the way I break it into, because I do find that the textures of that skin will be different for each person. Quite often someone will come in and they'll be like, I've got a really oily T-zone. Personally, I like to see all makeup off and just touch the skin so I can feel what I'm working with. I can feel the texture of the skin. I will often, before I've even started doing someone's skin, maybe I'll take that time to do their moisturiser, and I'm just feeling the skin, I'm feeling what I'm working with, I'm feeling the texture and how the pores are and what the skin does, if you know what I mean. And often people, I can see whilst I'm working on it, does the redness come to the surface as I'm touching the skin? Can I feel unevenness, or can I feel pores that are visible? What's the makeup going to do when I sit it on? Is the texture on the cheeks slightly uneven? If so, do I want to go for a slightly matter foundation? Will the foundation that I choose sit in the pores? And these are all questions that I quite often ask myself or think about whilst I'm doing a makeup, but I never really say them out loud. So I wanted to do a video touching on those things that I think in my head, but I never vocalise. Because I recently did a press day, and I realised, and I was doing lots of people's makeup back to back, and I realised that every person, as soon as I got them in their chair and their makeup was off, I would touch their skin and just feel it for a while and just work out what their texture was, whilst asking them questions. Do you get oiliness? What happens with this? How long does your makeup last? And I thought, oh my God, they're so the key things that we don't discuss, that I think everyone should be aware of and be thinking about. So I will, whereas I said I take it into 4 different sections, I also will do that with the products that I use. So I may put the nose in a completely different category. So if I find someone that has, their cheeks are absolutely fine and can do with a really lightweight foundation and nothing too much, then I will just use a lightweight foundation on here or something. Let's say they have, this is probably a more, something that happens, some will have slightly pores on their cheeks that are fine and can get away with a lighter coverage foundation, but their nose, they have quite big pores, and they say makeup never stays on my nose. Hence why I classify the nose as a different area. I will often use a foundation on this area that's maybe still slightly matte, has a slight matte tone, something probably like the new MAC foundation, something like MAC Studio Radiance, which is a medium coverage, can be sheared down, can be built up. So I would probably use that on the areas where their cheeks are. And then on any areas where I know that they have bigger pores here, I'll use a completely different foundation. So where I may see open pores and the makeup doesn't last, I'll use a foundation powder on those areas. So rather than class the whole face as one, I break it into different sections, especially when working on darker skin. It infuriates me, and I don't think it happens anymore, when people use one colour all over. We have beautiful texture, we have beautiful colours in our skin, especially darker skin, where they may be a little bit darker around the outside of the head, and people will go for one slightly warmer undertone, which means more yellow undertone, all over the skin, and in this area and it ends up looking ashy, then we swap and we go for something that's going to have a slightly more pink undertone around that area so that it makes the skin look like skin and is natural. I'm not sure if that happens anymore, maybe, but I think it's really important that we have a couple of foundations that are in our arsenal. And also one day I could come in and be like, oh, 2 days in a row, same makeup over and over. And then suddenly it's just like, I don't want to work today. This makeup is not going to work. It's really good to have a different foundation with you as well, so that on those days where your skin is just not wanting to play ball, you have a backup plan. Because quite often you can wear the same thing like for 5 days in a row, and then on the 6th day it's just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to look right on you today. I'm not going to work for you today. Rather than me continue to chat, let me show you the products that I used, that I picked up, and see what you think. And I'm going to imagine that my skin is the example that I gave you. So I have open pores, I can't wear makeup on my nose, it just sweats off and moves. You can use a primer over these areas to fill in any pitted areas or any areas where there's a little bit of open pores. You could use a primer, but be careful the sort of primer that you use. You'd want a primer that that doesn't roll on the skin, and you'll feel that when you pick up your primer. You'll feel the texture of it. You want a primer that's just gonna glide into the skin, melt into the skin, but not feel like you've got a waxy layer still over the skin. So I've already moisturised with a moisturiser that's right for my skin. I'm then going to take this Rare Beauty Pore Diffusing, primer. And again, I'm only going to put that in the areas that I feel I've got pores. So for you, you only put that in the areas where you might say, oh, there's a few pores there I want to cover. So I'm going to pop that. This is the area. I don't really suffer from big pores, unless it's time of the month, and then they kind of open up a little bit. Hence why it's really important to have different foundations and different routines at different parts of the month. So that is beautiful. It's on my skin. It doesn't feel like I've got anything on. It doesn't, even to touch, it doesn't. It doesn't feel like makeup's going to roll over it. Then I'm going to take the foundation. Obviously use whatever foundation you feel is right for your skin. I'm then going to take the foundation. Obviously use a foundation that you feel is right for your skin. I'm going to work that just over my cheeks. This is MAC NW15 in this foundation. And then I will decide whether I even need the foundation on the top part of my head. I'm going to take a little bit on there purely because I've got plenty left on my hand. And I just want to take it. Hardly use any, just so that it's... Right, let me see if I can remember where I was, because my sister rang, so I stopped recording to chat to my sister for a while. I've still got the foundation on my hand, so I was just talking about forehead, wasn't I? So it's just taking a little bit over my forehead, not too much, because that to me is a different section, so it doesn't need too much. And I always think if your foundation blends and is the right colour, you shouldn't need to take it too much on your forehead. And if you do, then you're just allowing the kind of lines to show. Don't have many at the moment. You're kind of allowing the lines to show a little bit. Okay, so we have done cheeks, forehead, now we're on to nose. And like I said, for this person, whether it be me, whether it be someone else, the nose gets very oily, has quite big pores, and is hard to cover. So that's when I would swap out for a powder foundation. I'm going to use MAC NW25. Now, the foundation that I use by MAC comes out a lot darker than it is. So as Mark, where have I even put it? Here. So this is an NW15. It's far darker than most NW15s. This is NW25, and you can see that would be a similar colour. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to use it on a sponge. If you want a lighter coverage, use it on a brush. If you want more coverage, use it on a sponge. Let me find a good sponge for this. Is there one underneath? Yeah, that'll do perfectly. So I'm going to take that, and that would be pushed on to the nose. So that where those pores are, I'm not putting a liquid that will sit in them. Instead, I'm putting a powder that will complement them and make that still look flat. And then I'll just tap the powder just around the area so that it doesn't look like my nose is stuck on and powdered. So the only bit that's powdered is my nose. And then I'm on to my fourth area, which is my chin. I've still got a little bit of foundation, so I'm going to just run that over my chin. Now I find my chin, as I've got older, has kind of sunk back a little bit. So I'm going to use this NARS Light Reflecting Eye Brightener. And I'm going to use that under my eyes and on my chin. So I'm going to take it under here. Sorry, if you can hear the TV downstairs, my son, it's half time, he's downstairs and he's listening to something really loud. Probably some YouTube. I'm just going to take that under my eyes. And in that little area there that I have darkness. Let me do my relaxed face and look straight at you. Can you see that little dip here and here? It's just where aging has just caught up. So I'm going to take a little bit of that just here. And remember, light moves something forward. So I'm going to take that there, and that is just going to project forward that area. I might take a little bit here as well. I'm going to go with my powder on a brush this time and just run that over my chin. Remember, if I use it on a brush, it's going to be softer, not have as much lay down. Not taking it too high up. Now, if you're someone that does get slightly oily on the cheeks, then you can run the powder over the cheek area as well, but just keep that area that is really oily and really porous with just the powder. So I would take the powder over the top, and then when it comes to putting a bronzer on, you'd use a powder bronzer so that it gives you a flatter, a matte powder bronzer that hasn't got too much shine, so it takes away any of that texture that may be there of open pores. Actually, let me do that. Let me do it. Why am I just talking about it? I was going to put a cream bronzer on because it's what I go for, but what we'll do is we'll powder softly over the cheeks. Not too much. I don't want too much over there. I just want to make the makeup look a little bit flatter. And then I'm going to take a matte bronzer. This is a matte medium golden bronzer by MAC. Again, doesn't have to be MAC. These are just the products that I've got to hand. And I'm just going to take that anywhere I want a little bit of bronzer. But again, it's a matte payoff, so it's not going to emphasize any open pores. Now, if you wanted a bit of highlighter in those areas, that's when you would go in with a powder highlighter. This one is Mesmerize by Rare Beauty, or this one is Flaunt. I think I'm going to go for Flaunt. I'm going to take that on a light brush. Let me just check the colour of that. It's quite goldy, but that'll be fine. Might be a bit too goldy, we'll see. And just run that on the tops of my cheeks. So I've still got a little bit of a glow there. Because matte makeup can still look lovely and glowing. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Rosy Outlook. I don't even know if this one is still available. And pop that on the apples of my cheeks. Don't know if that's a great colour actually. A bit blur. Maybe this will be better. This one is in Blush Please, Glow Play Blush. So I'd say this base is probably more for someone who has slightly larger pores or skin that is oily in the T-zone. Wasn't intended to be that, but that's how it's turned up. But to be fair, most of my videos are for a slightly drier skin, so it's quite a nice change to put something on that will be long lasting, but also better for someone that maybe has slightly larger pores and wants that perfect base without it looking too heavy. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I really hope you've learned something from it. Bye!